Today we're going to discuss a little bit about the elephant in the room, interest rates. We're going to dive into some of the headlines, we're going to talk about the news and summarize some of the facts that we should be aware of surrounding interest rates. So number one is why. Why are interest rates raising? Why? So guys, what is happening here? This is a move by the government to try to slow down inflation. They're trying to cool down some of these hot markets, the Torontos and the Vancouvers of Canada. Number two, how is this going to affect my home price? What's going to happen to my own home price? Now, number one, let me start by saying I have no crystal ball, just like no one else does. But what we can do in this situation is we can look to the experts. There have been a few experts come out and they have expected some drastic drops in house prices. Now, of course, that's what's going to make the headlines because it always does, right? Anything that has a wow factor, that's what you're going to hear on the news. But if we look at the average predictions among experts, many are actually still expecting for us to see mild appreciation in Canada. Of course, this is looking at Canada and US as a whole. Unfortunately, we have limited hyper-local predictions just based mainly on our size. I will say, looking at Swift Current as a whole, we didn't see the same kind of inflation as other communities, larger communities that they've seen during COVID. Truly, we only dipped from balanced market conditions into a seller's market for a few brief months during COVID. A few areas we did notice significant increase. For example, houses in Highland, they increased by 15%. Commercial shops more recently have been very much in demand, but overall we did not inflate as we've seen in the bigger centers. Should I buy a house right now? Excellent question. Yes, you should. This is a great time to buy a house, guys. I think for this question, the best thing to do is look at the overall picture because home purchasing is an overall picture decision. So pluses and minuses. Number one, equity. You're building someone else's equity when you're renting, right? Number two, competition. When the market's softening, you have far less competition as a buyer. No bidding wars, extra choices. These are the exact things that people were wishing for a few months ago when everyone was fighting for houses. So in summary, interest rates have went up. Yes, they sure have, but guess what? You're not gonna get any richer renting. Equity is king. So get out there, go get locked in at an interest rate, or ride the variable wave like I do. You can always lock in if interest rates go down. If you've been thinking about selling and moving to a new house and you have a killer rate, talk to your lender about porting your mortgage, okay? But that's a video for another day. This is Realtor Bobby T signing out. Thank you always for tuning in.